Welcome to episode 22 of Inside Politics, for teens, by teens, where I explore the politics and issues impacting our generation. I'm your host, Christina Li, and today I'm focusing on state politics. For this, I've invited Senator Dianna DiZoglio, Massachusetts State Senator for the 1st Essex District. Senator, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to join you today, Christina. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for being here today. So let's just jump right in. So what does your day look like as a state senator? And I guess how has the pandemic changed that?
So as a state senator, I am elected by voters to represent them in the state Senate, where our primary duties are creating, debating, and voting on legislation that either makes new laws or modifies existing ones. And one of the best and most important parts of the job is helping residents in our legislative districts. We're able to connect people with state services and the resources they need, whether it's financial help or assistance on healthcare, transportation, or other important issues. And in the Senate, there are 40 members, with each senator elected to represent a district consisting of about 160,000 people, give or take, depending on the census. Make sure that you're filling out your census and sending that back. It's very important. As required by the Massachusetts Constitution, the Senate meets every 72 hours all year round, either in a formal session or in an informal session to consider different bills that come before us. And day to day, I would say, things have changed tremendously in my office. But day to day, since COVID-19, day to day, the duties can change. It varies. I go in and I vote on the different bills that are before us, some of which I filed and have been able to pass successfully. And on other days, we will be in the district and speaking with residents and attending award ceremonies or special occasions for residents in the community that are important to the livelihood and well-being of our community, and support different agencies by visiting them and learning more about what they do in our community. But I also have a lot of time on the phone and at my desk, emailing and speaking with residents about different needs that they might have, anywhere from healthcare to a pothole that they might need fixed on their street that they want to call me for more information about and to request assistance with that process. And how things have changed with the pandemic is, just like everybody else, the social distancing, has been something that's prohibited many of us from going to these different events. These events are no longer in existence, for the end of the year at least. And it's really switched to, rather than coming over or us meeting up to do an in-person interview, for example, I'm doing a lot of Zoom interviews, like most of you who are watching right now are having most of your meetings online, even if it's classes or just talking to your friends and getting to socialize and interact that way. Much of what I do has become started to go through technology, social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, trying to expand our social media engagement opportunities with people so that they know that we're around and they can contact us in a way that's best for them. But a lot of things, that have changed for most of you have changed for me as well in our office. And I think, as far as like the different policies that we've been working on and what's changed as far as the work that we've been doing, rather than just the way that we're connecting with others, is many of our small businesses are really struggling right now. Pre-pandemic, most of our small businesses locally seemed to be thriving and doing pretty well, and the economy was doing pretty well, and we had revenue coming into the state to be able to fund important initiatives in our communities and to increase funding for education, for example, and to fund transportation projects statewide, so on and so forth. And what's happened due to the pandemic is that there's a revenue shortfall. A lot of businesses had to close. Some are still closed to this date and haven't been able to do business. and there's a really slow economic recovery happening. And there have been tremendous challenges associated with that people have been contacting me about. For example, going back to school has been something that people have contacted me about and what that's going to look like. Small business grant opportunities, people that are seeking unemployment, or lost their job, so need health insurance for them and for their children. There have been some significant challenges, but the community, Christina, has really pulled together during this time, and everybody's been chipping in. And I can say that the positive takeaway from the tragedy that is COVID-19 is that the community has really proven itself to be strong and capable, and has shown that they're not only capable but willing to look out for one another and to help to take care of neighbors and friends and loved ones in the community in a time of great need. So it's been really encouraging to watch that and to see people pulling together and putting the resources together to pull through this, as we are all in this together.
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing how communities band together in times of hardship. So I guess you have this very important and very amazing role in this community. So what does serving in this role mean to you personally?
You cut out just for a second there with my Wi-Fi. Can you just repeat that part? What is it? What? Something personally?
Yeah, so could you talk about how, what this role means to you personally to serve as, serve on behalf of this community?
Absolutely. So a little tidbit for you. I actually never planned on getting into politics when I was younger. I was, somebody that actually, I struggled in high school. I moved around a lot. I was raised by a hardworking single mother. We moved around a lot, and I didn't really have the stability that I think I needed in high school to be able to stay focused on my work, and wasn't really the best student in high school. I played sports and, I went to high school, but I wasn't really invested in the learning opportunities that I was being presented with at that time. And I ended up taking a couple of years off and traveling around, and I worked in a teen girls' home, actually, as a live-in mentor, almost like a peer mentor at the time. And because I was so young, I think I was about 19 when I was working in the teen home. So I was more of a peer mentor, but I was hired to work there. And I worked at the United Teen Equality Center in Lowell as their cultural arts coordinator, I think. It was the official title. Don't quote me on that. I do remember working on cultural arts and dance and music and all sorts of great things with the youth in the city of Lowell. And had volunteered at Girls Inc. and was doing a lot of work with nonprofits in our communities that specifically were engaging youth. And I always thought that I was going to be directing a youth center at this point in my life. So I went to school, I went back to college. I ended up actually going to Middlesex Community College and graduating from there. And I went on from there to Wellesley College. And I ended up double majoring in psychology and Spanish, and needed a job right out of college, to pay the bills. And I took the first job that was offered to me, which was working at the State House for a state representative. And while my goal was to be, working at the time in a community center, and I thought that was the way that I was going to serve my community, I actually ended up learning a lot from that experience and seeing how we can make positive change through government that, really wasn't made salient to me until I had that experience. I, at your age, wanted nothing to do with government. I thought it was just a bunch of old people screaming at each other all day. And, I thought to myself, I love my community and I want to make a positive difference for my community. And I can do that best by being with residents. Well, by being with residents that are most in need, our most vulnerable residents, and assisting them. But you can do that as a state representative. You can do that as a state senator. You can do that as a mayor or a city councilor or even a congressperson. You can do that. And you can not only have an impact through your one-on-one work and conversations like this, Christina, with residents, but you can also have an impact on funding opportunities for different initiatives that will really make a positive impact on people in your community and help them. So you think about the fact that I thought I was going to be working in a youth center and community center. Well, now as a state senator, one of the biggest things that I've been working on recently has been funding youth justice initiatives in the Merrimack Valley and working to secure funding opportunities for organizations like the United Teen Equality Center that just opened up in the city of Haverhill, like the Methuen Youth Innovation Project that we're working on in coordination with Methuen Public Schools. And we get to vote on different pieces of legislation, which are just people's ideas written down. We get to vote on different ideas to become law that can really have an impact on younger people in our community and on everybody in our community in a positive way. And once I learned that, I decided I was going to, run for office, and that was the path that I was going to pursue at the time, and I've still been pursuing. And, on a personal level, what it means to me is I'm doing what I love every day. It's a great opportunity. I am humbled when I think about the fact that I have this amazing opportunity to be able to work with people one-on-one and serve all of you, and then go to the State House and advocate and debate and vote on your behalf and stand up for issues that are important to you. So it has been very personally fulfilling to me. There are some challenging days, don't get me wrong, like there, are with everybody's positions. And like I'm sure in classes, there are challenging times. But the good definitely outweighs any of those challenging times. And I truly consider it just a humble honor to be able to continue to do this work for the community and to work on everybody's behalf.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think what you said about your high school perception of politics as just like old white men screaming at each other. And I think that's something that resonates with me and a lot of my peers. And I guess one of the missions of this podcast is to show them what politics really is and how it truly intersects with every part of our lives and is so relevant to us. And I guess as a senator, you've said that you've seen this firsthand. And I guess, could you directly address the viewers of this podcast and tell them why they should care about and get involved in politics?
Absolutely. Well, the people that are voted into office are the ones that make the decisions that impact your daily lives. You think about when you get in the car, you put on your seatbelt, right? Hopefully. When you're driving, hopefully you're not texting and driving. Or talking on the phone now, using your hands. You have to obey the speed limit, stop at stop signs, so on and so forth. You think about going to class, you think about the curriculum that you're being taught in school and whether or not you think it's appropriate curriculum or if there's a better way of learning. You think about whether or not you should have civic education in public schools. You think about whether you should have financial literacy courses teaching you how to do your own budget and be able to, when you graduate, pay your bills and understand budgeting and learn about that and how to save money and understand concepts surrounding those types of things that will impact your future. Think about youth centers in your community and if you have adequate youth services or whether you need more youth services. Your local leaders are the ones that are making the decisions on those things, on how much your schools get funded and on whether or not you have these community centers and they want to vote to support that and to send funding that way, to funding opportunities for higher education, all sorts of things that you might not think about, down to buckling that seatbelt at the end of the day, are things that your local leaders vote on and make decisions about. So it's really important that you go out and play an active role in deciding who those people are going to be so that you know that your voice is going to be heard as loudly as possible through that person who's supposed to be representing your voice. And I would just say, if you want to get involved and aren't sure how to get involved, but you want to learn more about the process, we have internships in my office. We're happy to discuss internship opportunities with you. It has changed slightly because of COVID. So we're not going into the State House at present, but we do have opportunities that are opening up if anybody's interested, and other learning opportunities as well. And great ways for you to get engaged if you want to learn more. But I would say, let's start off with getting you registered to vote. And that way you can go in, make your voice heard, at the very least, about who you want your local leaders in your community to be, and make sure that you're voting for people that represent you to the best of their ability.
That's a great message. All right, Senator, thank you so much for joining me here today. I really appreciate it. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see everybody next time on Inside Politics.
Thanks, Christina. See you guys all later.
Hi, everyone. This is Christina. Thank you so much for watching Inside Politics, and please feel free to check out the rest of the interviews on my channel. See you next time!